In the last class, we have discussed about residential status of individual. Today, we are going to discuss about the residential status of HUF and company. HUF, that is Hindu Undivided Family, is treated as a person under Section 2, subsection 31 of the Income Tax Act 1961 that we have already learned under the concept person. That is, person includes individuals, HUF, company, AOP, body of individuals, local authority, artificial juridical person, etc. So, HUF is a separate entity for the purpose of assessment under the Act. Before learning how to determine residential status of HUF, let us learn two conditions, that is basic and additional conditions, which we learn like in the case of residential status of individuals. Okay, so first of all, basic conditions. Basic condition: if control and management of its affairs is wholly or partly situated in India during the relevant previous year. Here, control and management refers to de facto control and not de jure control. Here you have to understand the meaning of de facto control and de jure control. De facto means a state of affairs that is true in fact, but that is not officially sanctioned. But de jure means a state of affairs that is in accordance with the law. De facto means that is true in fact, but de jure means that is in accordance with law. In case of HUF, here control and management refers to de facto control. That is, control and management means decision taken regarding the affairs of HUF, and such powers generally resides with the head of the family, that is Karta. So basic condition is if the control and management of HUF is wholly or partly situated in India during the relevant previous year. Next, additional condition. Additional condition number 1, Karta is resident in at least 2 out of 10 years preceding the previous year. Second condition, the Karta has been in India for 730 days or more during 7 years preceding the previous year. These are the additional conditions. Now, let us learn who is resident HUF. A Hindu undivided family is said to be a resident in India if the control and management of its affairs is wholly or partly situated in India. We have already discussed basic condition and additional condition. So, if HUF satisfies the basic condition, HUF becomes resident. That is, in order to be resident in India, if the control and management of affairs is wholly or partly situated in India, HUF becomes resident HUF. In order to determine whether HUF is ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident, the residential status of Karta during the previous year is concerned. So, a resident HUF is an ordinarily resident in India if the Karta or the manager of the family satisfies the above mentioned 2 additional conditions. If Karta satisfies the 2 additional conditions, that is, Karta is resident in at least 2 out of 10 years preceding the previous year, and the Karta has been in India for 730 days or more during 7 years preceding the previous year. If Karta satisfies these 2 additional conditions, resident HUF becomes ordinarily resident in India. Next one, not ordinarily resident HUF. If the Karta or the manager of resident HUF does not satisfy these 2 additional conditions, family is treated as not ordinarily resident. If Karta does not satisfy 2 additional conditions, family is treated as not ordinarily resident in India. So you have to understand, in order to determine whether HUF is ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident, the residential status of Karta is taken into consideration. Next one, non-resident HUF. A Hindu undivided family is a non-resident in India if the control and management of its affairs is wholly situated out of India. If the control and management is situated wholly outside India, then HUF becomes non-resident in India. Okay, next one, residential status of company. Section 6, subsection 3 deals with residential status of company. First of all, let us check what is resident company. A company is resident in India if it is an Indian company or the place of effective management during the year is in India. Two conditions should be, there are 2 conditions. A company is resident in India if, first one is, it is an Indian company or the place of effective management during the year is in India. Here, place of effective management means where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of business of an entity as a whole are made. So, company is resident in India if it fulfills either of these conditions. Either it should be an Indian company or the place of effective management should be in India during the previous year. Okay, company can be divided into 2, Indian company and not Indian company, that is foreign company. Indian company is always resident because the first condition itself is an Indian company is resident company. So, Indian company will be always resident. In case of foreign company, if the place of effective management is in India, then that foreign company becomes resident in India. If the place of effective management of that foreign company is situated outside India, then it becomes non-resident. Place of effective management is of importance in the case of company. In case of foreign company, if the place of effective management is in India, foreign company will also become resident in India. If the place of effective management is situated outside India, it becomes non-resident. So next one, a non-resident company. A company shall be non-resident if it is not resident in India during the relevant accounting year. It means that a company whose place of effective management during the year is situated outside India. If the place of effective management is outside India, then company will become non-resident company. A company can never be ordinarily or not ordinarily resident in India. The residential status of company is categorized only into 2. That is, a company can either become a resident or non-resident. A company can never be ordinarily or not ordinarily resident in India. Okay, so hope you understood what we have discussed today. Thank you.